If you're watching this video, you've gotten to the point where you need to do a little research about Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. The example that you're going to see is one I did on Raphael. And so you have to fill in these boxes here showing what was the impact that Leonardo da Vinci had on the artist world at the time of the Renaissance. One image of a famous painting or sculpture or piece that he invented or created. And then an explanation in your own words of what that image or that picture was. And I want you to try to use one or more of these words here after you've defined them to show that you understand what they mean and how they played into the artwork of the time. So my example's right here. I did Raphael, and I found a picture that I thought was a good one to use for him. It's one of the most famous works that he did, and I know you talked about this, or you will talk about this piece when you're in social studies, so it should be a little familiar to you. A good resource to use is this Kids Renaissance webpage. It has an explanation of the different pieces of art, the different types of art, important terms, and this might be a good place for you to use the definitions if you haven't done that yet. But if you scroll down to the bottom, it gives you some links to different places, and you'll see your artist here, but I'm going to go to Raphael. And it gives you a little biography about him. Now, before you try to do this, I would read through the information before you start trying to pick out the important information. It's not very long, so just take a second and read through it word for word, just so you get a general overview of what was important about him as an artist. And so I've already done that, and I found my picture that I wanted to use, and so I went ahead and I copied and pasted that into my chart here. And I had to find what was the impact of what Raphael had on the art world of the Renaissance. And so just to show you what I don't want you to do, I copied and pasted the text that I found from this website that told me about Raphael, so that I make sure I do not plagiarize it, because I want to take this information and put it into my own words. And I will be checking to make sure that you don't. And if you do, we keep talking about plagiarism, you can't just take an author's words and put them down as your own. So I want to see, what do you learn about your artist as you go through this process. So make sure you're putting it in your own words. If it helps you and you want to go ahead and copy and paste the text here so that you can make sure that you don't plagiarize, I think that's a great idea. That's how we've been doing research for our 7 wonders, and so it would make sense if you tried to do that here. So the text says that Raphael's paintings were known for their range, variety, grace, strength, and dignity. One art critic said that his work was more lifelike than life itself. His artwork is often cited as the perfect example of classical art and the High Renaissance. He is considered by many to be one of the greatest painters of all time. So to me, his impact on the art world, Raphael was a painter whose work was very realistic. His work showed a lot of variety, and he is remembered by some as one of the greatest painters of the Renaissance. Okay, so I put that into my own words, and of course I spelled it wrong. Watch those red underlinings. You can always autocorrect it. And then I have to explain now what this painting is. So again, I copied and pasted the text right out of the website, and I'm going to put this in my own words. The painting is called The School of Athens. It is a fresco, and that was one of the words that I had to use if I could. And if you find your words, I want you to highlight them to make sure that you're using some. In every explanation, you should try to use at least one. It's a fresco because it was a different style of painting where the artist painted on the wall. This painting is on the wall of the Vatican and has famous philosophers from ancient Greece. Okay, so what you're going to do now, you can go to that website and start with Leonardo da Vinci and find an image that shows something that he created, what impact he had on the Renaissance, and then explain it in your own words. And again, you should not do this until you have all of these vocabulary terms defined, because they're going to play into the impact and the explanation of his work.